Go on, mute ya, go on. Ease yourself, just keep it calm, mute ya, star. Only per pressure, I'm a corner. What time it hard to carry on? You no need no girl for turn to, no man for talk to. Feelings hurt, on the journey so far.
Welcome Success family, my enlightened keepers of Øwayne Media, alongside our new arrivals to the channel. Rygin King recently charged with gun possession in New York. Many people said it's because of the attack on his life that left him in a wheelchair as to why he's carrying a weapon. I personally do not see anything wrong with that once you are going about it the right way. Many people have mixed feelings and misreaction on this situation. Rygin King received harsh criticism from people like Sir P from Politricks Watch. Sir P have always have biased perspective on anything he speaks about. Now Sir P once again missed the mark on this Rygin King situation. Sir P said Rygin King possession of firearms in New York is a disregard for New York's strict gun laws, because you must say, yo, Rygin King do not care. Now, Sir P overlooks the nuances regarding self-defense and legal rights. Sir P again has a habit of making wild accusation and comparison, and he did that with this Rygin King situation, where Sir P compared Rygin King situation to the notorious Klansman Don Blackman. If that is not misleading, then I do not know what is. Sir P also shows disregard for the cultural differences between Jamaica and the US, where to own firearms are constitutionally protected in the US. Even though the laws differs from state to state, the constitution still remains the same. They only make it a bit harder for you to procure those guns. But in Jamaica, things are totally different. You cannot just buy a gun with a permit or anything like that. They make sure they make the process really tough for you. Now, guns in Jamaica is either glorified or looked down on, right? But remember, Sir P has a tendency to advocate for severe punishment similar to those who commit serious crimes, and by doing so, Sir P ignores the fundamental principles such as presumption of innocence. You are cloaking the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. But let me ask you this, which one of Sir P's subscribers would make a mistake and then go to court and say, yes, I deserve prison time because I didn't follow the law and whatever, and let me go and sit in prison and do all this time, right? Because my family and my life is worth nothing. That is the mentality that Sir P is pushing. Black man do actual badness. Rygin King is an artist at the end of the day, and regardless of everything, Sir P consistently takes a negative stance, rarely acknowledging anything positive or offer support. Sir P has a habit of tearing down Jamaicans and finding faults in every single situation with no constructive approach, when Sir P could actually seek to understand or provide balanced commentary on his videos or anything. No, him not do it because criticizing is more beneficial to him without ever offering any real solution. I will show you how this situation complements this L.A. Lewis case that I will talk about next. So L.A. Lewis was acquitted of breaches of the Toll Road Act by the St. Catherine Parish Court due to prosecution failure to mount a successful case. Parish Judge Janelle Nelson Gale noted discrepancies in the matter and the absence of complaints, ultimately concluding that the Crown could not prove the charges against the 7-star general, which led to L.A. Lewis discharged from the case. This is a big legal victory for the 7-star general. Now, the case against L.A. Lewis is coming from allegation that he drove through the Portmore Toll Plaza twice on April 30th of the previous year without paying, damaging the barrier in the process. L.A. Lewis was arrested at Norman Manley International Airport and charged. During the proceedings, L.A. Lewis represented himself and pleaded not guilty to 1 count of toll evasion and 2 counts of forcible damage to toll road property. Now, despite the serious nature of the charges, the court's decision to acquit the 7-star general was influenced by the inconsistencies in the prosecution case. L.A. Lewis had previously pleaded guilty to 1 count of toll evasion and was fined $10,000. Now, L.A. Lewis said he was satisfied with the verdict. Let me ask you this, how many people can represent themselves and walk out of court? L.A. Lewis thanked the judge after being freed and said that he believed justice has been served. He also felt a sense of personal accomplishment, describing himself as a leader for successfully defending himself in court, which is right. L.A. Lewis' ability to successfully represent himself showed the weakness in the prosecution case, but we still have to give props to L.A. Lewis despite facing serious allegation. The 7-star general maintained his innocence and demonstrated confidence in his defense strategy. This outcome only shows us that the legal system requires concrete evidence and consistent witness testimony to secure a conviction, ensuring that individuals are not wrongfully convicted based on weak or incomplete cases. Should L.A. Lewis just accept his fate and go to prison and just sit down in prison because somehow somebody will just take care of his family? That is the point I am trying to make with the Rygin King situation. And Sir P would tell you that L.A. Lewis should just go to prison and do the time and all of these things, because remember, if the system is set up a certain way, to put people at either disadvantage or advantage, right? So if you see loopholes and you can use that in your advantage, then why not do so? You have all right to defend yourself, self-preservation. But Sir P would want to tell you otherwise. That sounds so paradoxical and ridiculous. So big up L.A. Lewis. Archbishop of Canterbury Justin Welby will visit Jamaica from July 18 to 21 to mark the 200th anniversary of the Diocese of Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. The reason for his visit will be a celebratory service on July 21 at the National Arena, where Welby will preach. Another significant event during this visit is online forum on July 20th, focusing on slavery and reparation, featuring Welby, historians Vereen Shepherd and Patrick Bryan, and also retired Judge Patrick Robinson. Welby is expected to meet with several senior public officials, having been invited by Archbishop Howard Gregory, head of local Anglican Church. So the visit takes place between the historical relationship between the Anglican Church and Jamaica. The church was brought to Jamaica by the British in 1660 and granted local autonomy 200 years ago. Now, this basically reflects the ongoing discussion about the church's role in historical injustices, particularly slavery. In March, an advisory panel recommended that the Church of England establish a $1 billion fund to address its historic links to slavery, and this recommendation follows findings that the church's substantial assets were linked to investment in the Atlantic slave trade, and the church has accepted this recommendation and aims to create a fund for healing, repair, and justice. Now, this is my thing, the pledge of $1 billion by the Church of England. However, it raises questions for me, because without clear plan on how the money will be allocated or how it will benefit the affected people, African people or the community or whatever the case is, the pledge risk being just a mere promise, and we know promise is just a comfort to a fool. The church played a significant role in slavery, must ensure that this fund translate into tangible benefit and meaningful reparation to the people them, right? And them forget it, right? That's it said. Alright, so that's the video for today. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the subscribe, thanks for the views, thanks for the comments. As always, I'm out.